Hello, I'm Lamar Jones, and today is Friday, January 16th. This is caffeineTV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. As a programming note, we'll be back on Tuesday. We're not going to film on Monday in observance of the MLK Holiday. The first number of today is 1,000. That's the number of lashes that Saudi blogger Raif Badawi was sentenced to, in addition to jail time and a massive fine for creating and writing in his blog, Free Saudi Liberals, which advocates greater openness in that authoritarian kingdom. Now, his sentence was set to be doled out in 50 lash increments spread out over 20 weeks. As a matter of fact, he was set for his second beating today, but it was postponed because the wounds from his first haven't healed yet. Now, what's interesting is that the case of Raif Badawi underscores global hypocrisy in response to the Charlie Hebdo attacks. The Saudi government condemned the Charlie Hebdo shooting even as they repress Raif Badawi, but they're not alone in this. As we spoke about earlier this week, Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan condemned also the Charlie Hebdo attacks even as he remains silent on the Boko Haram massacre in the northeastern part of his nation. But countries aren't the only ones whose actions don't match their words on this. Mark Zuckerberg also spoke out against the Charlie Hebdo attacks, even as reported in The Guardian, Facebook polices post in authoritarian nations at the request of those governments. And all this just underscores the fact that if we're going to be just sweet, fill in the blank, we need to be it everywhere. The next number of today is 0. That's how many Oscar nominations the critically acclaimed and Golden Globe nominated film Selma received yesterday, and what many are calling a snub and leading to the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. The films that received the most Oscar nominations were The Grand Budapest Hotel and the film Birdman. Now, as Amy Holmes points out in her NPR blog, Selma wasn't alone in its shutout. There were no people of color nominated in any of the acting categories. There were no women nominated for Best Director, and all of the films nominated for Best Picture were about men. Now, many people are asking what's wrong, but if you know anything about the composition of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, it's just kind of the way that it is. As the LA Times reports, 9 out of 10 people in the Academy, which votes for the Oscars, are white. 7 out of 10 are men, and the median age is 62, which means that the nearly 5,000 strong Academy is just a gathering of grumpy old white men. Now, that's increasingly a problem. That's because films rely on diverse audiences, both here and abroad, to make a profit. And if you total up the gross receipts from all of the films nominated for Best Picture, they total up about $200 million, which is about what one blockbuster makes. But in the end, if you want to change the Oscars, you got to change the Academy. The next number up today is 4. That's the proportion of American workers who will receive off for the MLK Day on Monday. The good news is that that's 50% above where it was 20 years ago. The bad news is that that's well below the nearly 9 out of 10 who receive off for other holidays like Memorial Day and Labor Day. Now, what's interesting is that as USA Today reports today, an industry which lags behind nearly all the rest in observance of the MLK holiday is the tech industry. As a matter of fact, Apple, the world's largest corporation, does not observe the MLK holiday, even though, as Gawker points out, CEO Tim Cook of Apple has a picture of MLK in his office, and MLK has been featured prominently in Apple's ads. Now, as we've spoken about here before, the tech industry lags nearly behind all the rest as well in diversity, and they're trying to change that. Perhaps a good place to start is actually to follow the lead of the person that you idolize.